full time at the Olympic or London Stadium, and it has ended West Ham United nil, Arsenal nil. Oh, I'm just so disappointed. We just saw the same thing again. Um, it's just a bit. It felt watching it. It just felt really, really inevitable that this was going to be the scoreline, that this was going to be the outcome, that this was going to be the sort of performance that we've seen time and time again from us, especially away from home when we come up against these, these sort of teams that we know are going to part the bus. We know are going to be really negative and defensive. We know that's going to happen, and we seem to struggle against them, especially away from home. At home, we seem to be able to beat them, but away, no. So yeah, I'll just go into the game that we started. I want to talk about first about the lineup. I think what Wenger did was possibly what he should have done. I think after the Southampton game, we were calling out for change. I thought, especially in these games, we know they're going to park the bus. We need someone maybe a bit more physical and give us an aerial threat like an Olivier Giroud. And I thought the three at the back formation wasn't really working for that, because I thought Bellerin, Kolasinac has got a decent cross on him. Bellerin can't cross the ball. Then both had to get back, especially in that Southampton game in the first half. They had to get back to help out the three at the back, because Redmond and I think Bertrand was playing as a left winger in that game, were playing really wide, and it meant Bellerin and Kolasinac couldn't commit fully going forward. They had to get back, they had to trap back, which meant we didn't really have much of a wide threat, and we kept going down the middle against Southampton. So I can see why Wenger has tried to rectify that by playing with this 4-3-3 formation, trying to put Alexis Sanchez and Iwobi as the wide men, but they're two wide men who are just going to keep coming inside. I'll come on to Iwobi in a minute, but I don't think he had a very good game. I don't think he can cross the ball. I think Alexis Sanchez can cross the ball, but he likes to come inside too much and create stuff, which isn't a position we need, isn't what we needed him to do. For me, Alexis Sanchez was completely unneeded and just ineffective in this game. I thought there was no need for him to come in. Well, obviously, we know he's going to do that, but I don't know. It wasn't what we needed. We needed a player who was going to stay wide and put crosses in. I think the surprise selection, obviously, Maitland-Niles at the back, left wing as a left back, wasn't really tested going forward. Zabaleta was there, prime right-sided player, trying to cause Maitland-Niles problems. He didn't really, but I thought Maitland-Niles had a decent enough game, didn't do much wrong, put some good balls in, and I thought he put in maybe 4 crosses in the whole game. I do think if he would have been better suited to the right side. I think if he'd put the crosses in earlier, maybe we would have had more success. But he had to keep coming onto his left foot, back onto his right foot, sorry, because he was playing on that left-hand side. And I think maybe, I don't really understand why Kolasinac was dropped. I don't think he had a particularly poor game against Southampton, wasn't at his best, but he hasn't done anything to be dropped. I thought Bellerin had much bigger case to be dropped. I thought he was terrible against Southampton. I thought he was terrible tonight. And he can't cross the ball, and I thought maybe Debussy would come in, or even a Maitland-Niles. But yeah, I can understand bringing in Maitland-Niles, because I think he does have a good cross in him, and he put some good crosses in. And then the midfield three, Granit Xhaka, I thought playing with the midfield three was good, because I think, again, in these away games, especially against these really, negative part-of-the-bus teams, we were getting a bit exposed in the counter-attack, especially with Granit Xhaka being exposed, especially with his lack of mobility in there. So we played that 3 in the midfield. It suited Xhaka better. I thought Xhaka had a better game. I thought Wilshere had a really good game, who's our best player, sitting there with Xhaka to the right of him and then Ozil to the left. I don't think Ozil was as effective playing as that deeper role for me. He couldn't really get on the ball as much as he wanted to, and thread passes through as much as he wanted to. He's a bit too deep for me, because he's not someone who's going to spray 50-yard over the top passes. He has got a good that sort of play on him. He has got the ability, but he's not quite as effects of when he's playing in between the defence and the opponent's defence and our midfield. And yeah, getting into the game, just first half, there's hardly anything to talk about. They had a goal disallowed, it was clearly offside. Iwobi hit the post, that was about it. We really just, we were the times we did go wide, which was basically the main reason why he switched the formation, so we can put crosses into Giroud, because that's his strength. If you're not going to do that or play nice little neat little touches around him, there's no point in playing him. I do think we missed the runs and the movement of Lacazette up front. Wilshere was looking time and time again to play those runs in behind. But yeah, we put the crosses in. I mean, we put very few crosses in the whole game, and I thought that was that annoyed me, because why are we playing Giroud if we're not going to put crosses in? Yeah, so throughout the game, throughout the first half was really poor. Second half, we started the second half, maybe first 10-15 minutes, really a much higher tempo. I think if we kept that going, we possibly would have got the goal. We kept coming closer, had a few like decent enough-ish chances. And then West Ham didn't really have anything until the last minute, or one of the, like, probably 88th minute or something, which I think that pattern of play just personifies our season as a whole. Our defensive frailty this season, just countless error after error. Koscielny, what is he doing? He plays a really similar ball to what he played in that game against United where he gave the ball away. The amount of times we've done that this season, given the ball away stupidly, then we did it again, then we just left two players, left the ball, I think it was Bellerin and Xhaka, and then one of them goes to a terrible pass out. And then again, something that we keep doing, four players rush to the ball, leaving one opposition player just standing there. He doesn't even have to move. It's a nice ball from Noble. Chicharito hits the bar, and it was just the same game personified. This game reminded me, the same defensive frailty, sorry. This game reminded me, really reminded me of a game we had against Sunderland away a couple years ago. It was a very similar game, actually. Similar in the way that we had a few half chances. It just felt inevitable that we were going to get a 0-0 draw. I know we've had very similar performances like this, but this game in particular, the Sunderland game, a 0-0, it just felt really similar. I thought, and then the substitutions for me, Danny Welbeck, he's just not a winger. There's no point in bringing him on as a winger. He can play as a winger if we're playing as a counter-attack team, then he's fine as a winger. When we're playing with this possession in and around the box, he can't play as a winger. He's got to play as a striker. He is a threat there. He's got good movement and he's good physically. Something a bit like a mix of Giroud and Lacazette. He's just not quite as good at finishing as them two. Lacazette, again, why are you bringing Lacazette on the wing? He's not a winger, he's a striker. Why did you make that change so late? I don't understand it, Wenger. You're making the change like when there's about 8 minutes left or something. How is it? He's not going to make an impact. He just needs one chance, Lacazette, and he's likely to score. But out wide, he's not going to do that. It's just Wenger keeps making these stupid mistakes that I just can't. They're just so obvious to see from a fan. I just don't understand what Wenger does at times. I think it's clear that nothing's changing in these games. Nothing's changed in the last few seasons. Nothing's changing. Why is he getting the job? What? I just don't understand. There's just no logical explanation for why Arsene Wenger is still in the job. And I know you'll be saying, oh, he's just turning it into a Wenger out rant after one draw. But it's not after one draw. It's after so many years of failure. And I know I haven't mentioned it much this season. It's because I've been trying to keep positive. But it's so frustrating when you see the same mistakes happening again and again and again and again. And we're what? That'll be 19 points off City now. We were told we were going to be competing with Bayern Munich 10 years ago. 10 years later, we're competing with Burnley and we're struggling past Red Star Belgrade in the B-Tech Champions League, the competition that Bayern Munich year on year almost win. How is that competing? It's just It's so hard to be an Arsenal fan in the last few years. I'm I'm gonna have to wrap it up here. So if you like the video, please subscribe, like, comment. You know, tell me what you thought about the game below, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Probably who we playing Newcastle at home on the weekend. And yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah.